And now for our member spotlight, we'll welcome Emily, Director of Health and Technology with Alberta Counsel.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having us today. I will keep it brief so you guys have more time to eat. So I'm our Director of Health and Technology at Alberta Counsel. Before I go into advocacy and the importance of government relations, I'm going to give a brief overview of Alberta Counsel and a little bit about what the firm does. So the firm was established in 2015, and we really are a multi-partisan organization. We have a lot of staff that are very close with the UCP and the NDP. So when you work with Alberta Counsel, you really get a broad spectrum of support from both parties. Our team at Alberta Counsel has a really deep understanding in the political environment. We have individuals who have a lot of background in public relations, communications, government relations. We also have a team of lawyers at Alberta Counsel that support everything from startups all the way to large corporations. A few of the services sort of beyond that government relations that we help organizations with include policy research and writing. So a lot of our clients want support with messaging. How do we message to the government and how do we advocate using a language that is familiar to the government? And that's something that we really focus on. Research is really important. So digging into legislation, understanding how previous legislation impacted organizations, and giving insights on how to move forward with that regulatory and legislative environment is really key. We also have a very large team of grant writers. And we actually, I think all of our clients use this grant support in some capacity. Some of the grants we support range from health grants to economic development grants to municipal grants, so quite a range. We also work with clients to find partners that need to be incorporated throughout that process. And our Indigenous and community relations is something I really want to highlight. We have a large team at Alberta Counsel that supports Indigenous relations strategies. So helping clients understand how to best engage with communities, but we also represent quite a few Indigenous communities throughout Alberta. So we like to help foster those relationships as well. I'm going to quickly pop into our team. I'm sure some of you seen some familiar faces. We have about 4 former MLAs. So we have Shane Saskew, Richard Gottfried, Richard Feehan, and Michaela Frey, and 2 former chief of staff. Ted Bauer was a former chief of staff, and Shannon Gill as well for health. So a lot of connections into government that are really supportive for clients. I want to go into a little bit about what is advocacy. So advocacy is a huge part of government relations. And advocacy really is, how do we bring attention to an issue without forcing an outcome? And these issues range within our firm. We support, like I said, health, energy, engineering, municipal affairs, so a variety of issues that we bring forward. And a lot of times clients have multiple issues and we kind of try to convene them as we move them all forward. But building sort of consistent messaging, timing on when to bring that messaging forward, and the manner in which to bring it forward to government and the public is something that we can really support with on that advocacy side. And again, why does advocacy matter? And why is it important to get support when doing advocacy? We know that the government of Alberta has a ton of asks from Alberta companies and from the public, and getting messaging that can kind of cut through that noise is really important. And consistent outreach on advocacy is huge, right? We need to build sustaining and repetitive relationships. It's not just sort of a one phone call, one email, one meeting, and then, the advocacy is done. It is very sustaining, and that's something that we help with. So setting advocacy goals and priorities, one thing we really recommend is honing in on those priorities. We often meet with groups and they will have, 10 priorities that are all important. But in order to get where you need to be at the end of the day, you need to hone those down to 3 to 5. And we really help organizations strategize on what those could be and how do you bring them forward and which ones do you bring forward at the proper timing. What is the role of a lobbyist? A lot of people, I think, maybe don't exactly know what a lobbyist does. And we like to say, we sort of act as your GPS, but you are the driver. So we help you navigate the system, prioritize, identify who to speak to, but you're always the driver of your government relations and your advocacy piece. We're just there to help guide you through that process. And then building an effective advocacy strategy. So really our team is there to support you on how do you align your advocacy goals with the goals of the government of Alberta, because we know those need to be aligned. This involves events, letters, events at the rotunda, media, public relations. There's a variety of tactics that we use to help companies get to where they need to be. And just to finish off, we have our team here at the front. So if anyone has any questions about government relations or advocacy, how we can be of help or any insights, feel free to come and have a chat with us. Thank you.